Hi, so I thought I'd talk a little bit about the Dino that was in the clips I recently posted. So it's 1967, so that makes it the earlier all-aluminum 2-liter V6 in the Fiat Dino. I later tuned one that I think was about a 69. It was a 2.4 liter with the iron block. But anyway, that one had full DCNFs. So this car was purchased by an in-law of mine, a young fella, into cars. And it had mostly been restored. He was really just assembling it. The engine seemed to be in excellent condition. But it ran unevenly. The carbs didn't seem to have been properly synced when it was reassembled. It hadn't been driven anywhere yet. So as he said, I hate carburetors. I'm a fuel injection guy. Well, okay, typical millennial. Good enough. But I'm old, so I've played with lots of carburetors. And so he was interested, though, in learning and doing the project himself. So what I had him do was the baseline work, which was to pull all 3 carburetors because the car had been sitting for some time, and disassemble them, take out every calibrated part, blow out every passageway, clean everything out, very carefully set the float levels, because the float level being equal impacts whether or not the carbs go onto the main circuit at the same time. So that's important. So painstaking preparation before synchronizing is necessary. We were also then able to note down the numbers of all the calibrated parts, from the auxiliary venturis to the emulsion tubes, the jets, and so on and so forth. It's important to know that if you have to make any future tuning changes on the vehicle once you get it going. If you don't have that baseline, you don't know if you need a bigger jet or a smaller jet. You don't know what number to order. So anyway, he did a great job on that. He was very careful and painstaking, took all 3 apart, put them all back together, got everything right, and then we were going to sync it together, but he didn't have time to make it out to where the car was located, and I was going to leave the area soon. So he asked, can you go ahead and sync it up? So I did that. The challenges with this Dino were that the carbs are DCNs, not DCNFs, and as a result, they don't have individual air bleeds to tune the individual bores. That was the first time I'd confronted these carbs, so I presumed I should just try and balance the carbs so that I would add the synchrometer reading from each barrel and average it, and then make sure the average of the 3 carbs was equal. I did a little more research on it. That seemed a logical conclusion to me. There didn't seem to be any alternative, and I did find that yes, in fact, that was the recommended procedure. So I went ahead and did that. The challenges with this setup is that the synchronization is controlled by a long rod, maybe you can see it in the video, that sets the idle speed setting of each, the balance of each carburetor, and then there's a screw that controls that entire rod to try and set speed. So after some fooling around, I got them equal, and it ran pretty well. You know, I did a little bit of testing off idle and revving to make sure I didn't have any pop. It was a couple of the carb barrels were popping, riching them up just a touch, because you do have individual richness adjustments for each of those barrels. And that was the process. So it sounded great, idled smoothly. I had it running maybe just a touch high, about 900 RPM, I think, but that could be brought down a hair once the car was stabilized, fully assembled, and running. So anyway, that's the last of that. Saw that car. It's back at his place. I don't know what the status is now, but it's always fun to take something like those fine-tuned Italian motors and really get them making that beautiful Weber sound when you gun them. So hopefully that helps people out. Maybe I'll do another little talk about basics of preparation to the synchronization, because really that's where you're going to succeed or fail. Hope that was helpful. Bye-bye.